Hey everyone, it's Jackie from Vegan Yack Attack, and I'm back with a brand new recipe video for you today, and one brand new recipe, a couple of my other favorites. So this video, because I'm doing 3 amazing vegan fall desserts, I want to make it a little quicker than usual, so we're not going to be going through the ingredients and such quite as thoroughly as I usually do. We're going to do a little bit more top-down, hands and pans with narration. And the 3 recipes I'll be featuring today are the pumpkin banana nut chocolate chip muffins, quite a mouthful in more than one way. Very easy to make though. The second is an apple pear crisp, one of my older recipes, but it really shines. Very delicious. And then the brand new recipe, which I saved for last, are the chai chocolate chip pumpkin seed cookies. So good. I first made these for my friend whose birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I made a little tweaks, and I'm pretty sure that they're perfect now. So let's get into it. You will need whole wheat flour, baking soda, pumpkin pie spice, ground flaxseed, some fine sea salt, pumpkin puree from a can, vanilla extract, softened coconut oil, sugar, chopped pecans, vegan chocolate chips, really ripe mashed banana, and molasses. First, we're going to combine some boiling hot water with ground flaxseed to create a vegan flax egg. Just whisk that together gently, and then we'll be setting it aside for the flax to absorb some of that water. In a large mixing bowl, add your whole wheat flour, sugar, pumpkin pie spice mix, baking soda, and salt. Whisk that together until combined, just making sure to get the spices and such evenly distributed. Next, in another mixing bowl, you'll combine your Pear pumpkin puree. Make sure not to get the canned pumpkin pie mix, as that's already pre-sweetened and seasoned. Add your mushy banana, your softened coconut oil, give that flax egg a little stir, and then add it into the wet mixture. Lastly, add in your molasses, very sticky molasses, and your vanilla extract. Carefully whisk this together, possibly in a larger bowl than I chose to use. You can also use a stand mixer with a whisk attachment for this. Either way, it's going to turn out fine. Now that the wet mixture is evenly combined, we can bring back our dry mixture and messy hands and add our wet into the dry mixture. Fold these together until there are no dry spots left in the dough, or the batter rather. Go a little speedy to save you some time here. Once mixed, we're going to add in our pecans and our vegan chocolate chips. Now just fold these in until evenly throughout the batter, but don't overmix. Next, you have a paper-lined cupcake sheet. I like to use an ice cream scoop for this. It makes it really handy. We're scooping a heaping third cup of batter into each liner. You may have some extra batter you can use in the next batch, or just fill these cups up a little bit more and extend baking time. After 28 to 31 minutes, you have some delicious muffins. Next up, we have the apple pear crisp. And first, we'll need some thinly sliced pears, thinly sliced apples, some cornstarch, sugar, cinnamon, quick cooking oats, vegan butter, some sugar, some diced pecans, vanilla extract, cinnamon, ginger, and salt. Now we'll need a bread pan, approximately 9 by 4 inches or 5 inches, depending on what you have. We're going to stir the cinnamon, cornstarch, and sugar together and start layering the fruits in the pan. I like to do it this way so that you're not tossing the spices and everything together and breaking the fruit pieces, but whatever is convenient for you, really. Now that we have a single layer of fruit, you shake about a teaspoon of the mixture over it, then layer with the next fruit, in this case pears. And this dessert is really great for getting rid of some kind of not that great looking produce. It doesn't have to be the prettiest because it'll break up and bake and, become basically a very pretty brownish red dessert. So we're just going to keep going back and forth with the fruit layers and the cinnamon and sugar mix between each one. Then we put our last layer on, and you of course don't need any mixture on this because we're making the topping. So we need your quick cooking oats, sugar, the diced pecans, you want them finer than the last recipe, ground cinnamon, ground ginger, and salt. Now we have our vegan butter. I like to chop this up a little bit before putting it in the mixture, as we're going to crumble it into the crust. Now you can use a fork here to cut the butter into the mixture, or a whisk like I did in the last video for scones. But what works best here, I find, after adding that vanilla in, is using your hands to really get in there and get the butter worked into the dry mix. Perfect texture, pebble-sized chunks. Now we're just going to cover the entire top of the fruit with this crisp crust mixture. Make sure to get all the little crumbs in the nooks and crannies. And you'll be baking it for about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. When it comes out, it's nice and brown on top, nice and warm. You want to wait about 15 minutes before cutting this bad boy open. Ooh! It may be a little messy. I highly recommend serving this with a scoop of vanilla ice cream if you have some on hand as well, but it is so great just by itself. Lastly, we have our chocolate chai cookies. You'll be needing some melted coconut oil, non-dairy milk, sugar, brown sugar, unbleached all-purpose flour, vanilla extract, baking soda, baking powder, chai spice mix, vegan chocolate chips, and pumpkin seeds. In a mixing bowl, you're going to combine your melted coconut oil with your sugars, brown and regular. Whisk this together to cream it. Whisk pretty vigorously. Next, add in your vegan non-dairy milk and your vanilla extract. Whisk again to combine and until the sugar begins to dissolve slightly. Next, we're going to add in our unbleached all-purpose flour, along with our baking powder, baking soda, chai spice mix, and salt. Fold the mixture together until there are no dry spots remaining. And again, you can use a stand mixer for this with a paddle attachment. Now that the mixtures are combined, you're going to add in your pepitas or pumpkin seeds and your vegan chocolate chips. Fold those into the mixture until even throughout. Try to keep them all in the bowl. And then once it looks like they're all pretty well in there, you're going to refrigerate the dough for 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, this is what your dough will look like. It's a little bit more firm. I like using this 2 tablespoon size cookie scoop to make these cookies. Makes things very convenient. So scoop those out onto 2 lined baking sheets with parchment paper. Here I cram a lot of them onto one, but please space them out onto 2, at least 2 inches apart. And once you've scooped all the dough, gently press down with your fingers to flatten the dough ball slightly, and then bake for 12 to 15 minutes. Once they're fresh out of the oven, bang the baking sheet against a solid surface a few times. This will continue to flatten the cookies instead of them being fluffy. And enjoy! I don't know about you, but my kitchen is nice and warm now from my oven. And we have these 3 incredible desserts in front of us. Let me know in the comments which one you think you'd like to try first. The chai pumpkin seed cookies, the pumpkin muffins, or maybe you already dipped into the apple pear crisp like I did. Really excellent with a scoop of ice cream. And all of these recipes, as always, are linked in the description below. You can find all of them, pin them for later, share, whatever. And if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.